guys, Nary here from Drake Wing Gamers, having me on Twitter, The Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Adastra. You guys are really making me worry in the comments here. I don't know what to expect. You guys are saying it's about to take a turn, and you've got me all kinds of confused and worried. And one second, let me let my kitty out. He looks like he wants to go. Come on, little boy. Come on, big boy. Out you go. Out you go. There you go. Kitty cat messing up my video with his inquisitive nature. All right, guys, I'm back. All right, so let's just jump right into this and let's see where it goes. All right, alarm chain, you're up. Let's go. Let's do it. Okay. All right. I was told by one of the triumvirates from Lux to simply say it was fake. Not sure if that'll work. Could be a good idea. Really, the biggest issue is that it delegitimizes the alliance process with the Kyllians. The people will believe that I'm beholden to Neferu somehow. Amicus' expression finally falls a bit, staring down at the food as his munching slows down. Where'd that other dude go? I noticed he was right there. Where the hell did he go? I'm sure they'll get over it. From what I've been told, it seems like they're quick to forget. Well, yes, as soon as the next scandal comes along, hopefully one not involving me. Yeah. We eat in silence a while, and I can tell something heavy is on Amicus's mind. In the meantime, I'm a bit distracted with itching specific spots on my arm, feeling tiny little bumps on the skin. What if I'm allergic to something in the meal? So I stop eating for the moment, choosing instead to lounge on the bed. Kyllian, I've been meaning to ask you something. Yeah? Do you want to stay here, even after I become Emperor? The question catches me by surprise, and I'm left to try and gather my thoughts for a moment as Amicus continues to look down. What do you mean? Amicus sighs and glances at me. I mean, do you want to stay here with me, even if you have the ability to go home? Amicus quickly looks down again. I'm sorry, I know it's not my place to ask, but I thought I might as well ask. I stare at him for a moment, then I look down too. You know I need to go back. At the very least, I need to let my friends and family know that I'm okay. I know that they're looking for me in Italy right now. Probably all of Europe is at this point. I need to let them know. Amicus coughs hastily. Of course. But that doesn't mean that I don't want to come back. I do. I just know that there are problems. I lower my voice as I remember that we're in a public place and that mentioning illegal first contact would not be a good idea. If we can fix the problems, honestly, I'd love to come back and stay for a long time. I kind of surprised myself with that statement, but it's true. Amicus glances at me in surprise. Really? Yeah, if it wasn't a risk to your empire. Of course. To speak to the parents as soon as I'm able. I'm certain we can figure something out. The look on Amicus's face right now, so sad, but a little hopeful, reminds me of something that I've been wanting to do for the past week. And Amicus? Yeah? I glance around, quickly making sure that the nearby patrons aren't listening. Do you want to date me? The statement, so ridiculous, so silly in this situation, comes out all quiet and weak, but I don't know how else to ask it. The word is so complicated between us now, and with how I tried to explain it to Amicus, it's something that I don't think I've ever said to anyone before, and just like Amicus, I find myself looking down immediately. It's quiet for a moment, and then the restaurant suddenly lights up with a golden hue as the sunset hits the windows just right. I hear a long exhalation and realize that the wolf has been holding his breath. I looked up then and see Amicus smiling at me. There's a mixture of happiness and relief on his face, maybe even a little amusement. I guess we've been dancing around it for so long, we both knew by now that it's what we wanted, but what we've been building up to. Of course, Kyllian, I'm honored that you'd have me. I even see his eyes glistening a bit, and I want to get up right there and then to join him on his bed, but public settings holds me back. I imagine Amicus is feeling the same way, and I wonder if maybe asking here in public wasn't the best place for it. But it was done, and I feel myself grinning despite myself. The wolf grins right back. Like he said, while I'm here, we might as well get to know each other better. And if you do figure something out, I can come back. Amicus nods and turns his head in a way that he's able to wipe an eye on his shoulder, probably hoping I wouldn't notice. He looks so relieved. I realize even after we made up in the mediation room, he was probably still feeling unsure of where we stood romantically. But there are boundaries, and if I'm dating you, you have to tell me everything, and no sleeping around behind my back. Of course, I have promised to tell you everything, especially everything that concerns you. I don't ever intend on breaking that promise to you. And sleeping around? Amicus' ears flick Not flip. Flick! And he glances over at our neighbors, who are definitely trying to eavesdrop. He lowers his voice a good deal. Definitely not. Not that I have anyone to be with, but we can discuss all this when we get back to our room, and... Amicus lowers his voice even more. Maybe do a little more as well? His ears flatten as I roll my eyes, but they come back up as I smile. Sure. Immediately, his tail starts thumping the bed, and the eager look on his face has me shaking my head. I can't deny that I'm excited too, actually. I can't deny that I'm excited too. Actually, I'm feeling kind of nervous now that I just promised him that. How would we even start? We sit together for a while longer, the conversation moving to more casual topics like how the districts of the city are divided up. Though, as an hour passes, I start to feel hot and a little dizzy, and when I mention this to Amicus, he suggests we head back to the palace. Oh, pretty. Vita has completely set by the time we're heading out toward the carriage. Of course, several delegates surround us as we start to head off, but Amicus promises he'll only be 10 minutes, and I head out into the next street alone to stand next to the chariot. It's a bit nicer out here in the open air compared to the stuffy restaurant. I can tell now that I'm definitely getting sick, and all that soreness and exhaustion was just the beginning of a creeping fever that I can feel breaking out across my skin. Yep, you got that thing from that girl. You should never have let her touch you. I end up sitting on the carriage step, head bowed as I feel myself starting to sweat. It's not anything I haven't felt before, but there's an odd prickling sensation underneath it all, like pins and needles just under my skin, leaving me wanting it to itch at various places on my body. I just wish Amicus would hurry up, the others too, since I'm the only one standing here. I can't even remember when Nephru and Virginia went. Someplace shopping, I think. Simeon. Oh. Simeon. Cassius's voice is low and quiet to my left, and I glance over to see him leaning up casually against the chariot. I make a half-hearted attempt at bowing at him, sort of just flopping my head in his direction. Wolf glares before walking toward me. What game are you playing? Now's probably the worst time for this to happen. Game? I mumble out stupidly, looking toward the restaurant to see if I can see Amicus through the crowd gathered in front. Do not act stupid. I know you're capable of understanding. I just shake my head, but immediately regret it as I feel all the food I've just eaten roll around in my stomach. I'm really sick, way more than I'd realized, and I can't believe how hard and fast it's hitting me. Do you remember several weeks back when you served me during midday meal? Virginia and Nephru were there. I just stick to silence now, worried that moving at all is going to make me hurl. Of course you remember. You told the Triumvirates about what I intended to do with them, didn't you? Cassius moves closer, but the feelings coursing through my body leaves me not caring at all much about him right now. I need to get to Amicus. I need to tell him that something's wrong. I hug myself, feeling the prickling sensation erupt to the surface. My skin on my arms and chest and legs burning and itching in the most horrible way. I gasp. What is that? Some sort of simian language? Listen to me. I want to know what you told them and how you knew to tell them. I feel bumps on my arms. Bumps that were there just minutes ago. I look down, and even though it's hard to see in the darkness, I'm at least able to see that the skin is splotchy and discolored. Shakily, I touch one of the splotches and watch as a tear-off clear liquid oozes out. What the fuck? Yep, this whole planet has been infected with Nurgle's rot. Alright, time to declare exterminatus and nuke it from orbit. What the hell? Something grabs the front of my robes and pulls me up. Are you listening, pet? I said... I was worried about small movements, but that huge lurch pushes my stomach over the edge, and I immediately projectile vomit straight into Cassius's torso. They both stare at the mess on his fur, which is starting to drip down heavily onto his garments. Oh, gods! Oh, gods! Wolf screeches at the same time I vomit again, right in the same spot. Cassius immediately stumbles back, screeching as he waves his paws uselessly at the mess, then actually starts to retch himself. I'm not able to see if he's actually throwing up too. Instead, I crumple to sit on the ground, feeling the world spin around me. Thankfully, the next thing I hear is Amicus's voice. It sounds like it's coming from far away, even though I can tell that he's crouching right next to me. What did you do to him, Cassius? I did nothing. I hear splattering noises. Kyllian, what happened? What's wrong? I sway and Amicus lets me lean into him despite my vomit-covered robes. I don't know. Was it the food? Are you... I stick out an arm and I feel the wolf catch it delicately, examining it. Gods! He mumbles it under his breath. What happened, Cassius? I hear more footsteps, and for some reason I feel myself becoming embarrassed that everyone's seeing me like this. That barbarian! He vomited on me! It sounds like Cassius is about to cry, and for some reason that's pretty funny to me right now. I try to laugh, but my throat is so sore. Virginia! He's sick! No. Let's see. We need to get him back to the palace. Get in the carriage. It's too slow! I feel the world tilt as I seem to just levitate off the ground. Then I realize that Amicus has picked me up.
The Praetors have much faster vehicles. We could get one from them.
Kyllian! I hear his voice, but for some reason I can't respond. It's like a dream. There's no time. I'm running back.
Amicus!
Oh man. Oh my god.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I feel my body bouncing up and down, thrown left and right. It's like I'm in some kind of demented thrill ride. I reach out into the darkness to stop it somehow, but all I feel is something furry and warm. Everything hurts and itches at the same time.
What is this?
Kyllian, hey, stay with me. I'm here.
Who?
I force my eyes to open, even though they burn so much. I stare up at the gnarled things above me, and I wonder what they are. All that comes to mind are bony, skinless hands reaching up to the sky. Can you hear me? There's a breathless, wheezing voice above me as the horrible, bouncing ride continues. I just want to sleep. There's another sound, an odd, droning one, and the earthquake finally stops.
Amicus, get in, you fool!
Neferu, he's having seizures! He has pustules all over his body! The voice above me sobs and gasps, and I want to reach up and put a hand over its mouth so that it's quiet, so that I can sleep.
Calm yourself. Virginia's having a physician flown into the palace. You need to...
Oh, he fades back out. Everything mercifully goes quiet again. I float through a void of quiet, soft, black clouds that tickle and nip at my skin. It itches and I want to itch, but something seems to be holding me down. I open my eyes slowly, staring up at the ceiling. I'm starting to get really annoyed that I can't just fall asleep. I have so much to do tomorrow. We're going on a trip to Naples. I think to try authentic Italian pizza. I'm gonna have a terrible time if I don't get at least a little... I realize that I can't move. Icy fear grips my chest, and at the same time I see something large scuttling up the wall. A giant spider skitters upwards and its movement off, like it's a puppet being pulled up by strings. It moves across the ceiling, and even though it's the size of a giant crab, I can't move at all. Adastran arachnids are disturbingly large. I grit my teeth as it comes to a stop above my head, and falls straight down onto my face, legs fanned out. Get off! I shove at the things pressing on my face. I told you to hold him down! I'm trying, Kyllian. Listen to me, please. You're safe. We're helping you. I focus on the monsters above me, their massive white teeth and red glowing eyes. Their horrible hands come down to press on me, and I feel the pricking pain all over my skin. I thrash around, but it's no use. They're too strong.
He's having another seizure!
Oh, man. I lean against the side of a building on the empty road. The night is peaceful and quiet. Mostly quiet. I hear clopping sounds in the distance, galloping sounds. I frown and lean forward a bit, looking up the dark road. I see a horse running toward me. Its eyes glow red and spit flies from its mouth. Afraid, I press myself closer to the building, but the horse ignores me. Instead, as it runs past me, I see that it's dragging something. A wolf's headless body, the arms spread out, the stump leaving a long red streak across the cobblestones. I open my mouth to scream. We have nothing on record for his species. Then profile him.
Is there a reason why we don't?
Just heal him, please. It's just aviapox.
Well, clearly it has a different effect on his species. His nervous system is already damaged beyond repair. You should consider...
Oh, fuck. Nope. No. No. This ain't how Kyllian goes out. No, no, no. Things never seem to go as planned, do they? I'm sorry that you had to experience this. I did not foresee it. Oh, shit! What the fuck are you? Do not worry. You are still on the correct course. You will be able to complete this task. I just need a little time. Understand that this will not be easy, even for the parents. Oh, so what the fuck? Are there also they're dragons? They're like big celestial dragons? What the hell? The pain will be temporary.
What's happening?
You will know in time, but not yet. Huh! Time loses meaning. Blackness, simultaneously eternal and non-existent. Nightmares ebb and flow, building and fading. Scenes from my earliest childhood to my landing on Adastra, all warped by horrific and violent imagery that never happened. But as soon as each one ends, I forget, just like any other dream, except one. I'm huddled in the seat of the ship, freezing cold, numb with desperation and the fear of impending death. How is this happening to me? What did I do to deserve this? I glance back at the crumpled form of the wolf in the back of the ship. His head is framed by a pool of blood, the metal pipe just a few feet away where I dropped it. I've made a huge mistake. The anger and terror I'd been feeling over the past several hours, days, weeks, builds until I scream and smash both of my fists on the glowing panels in front of me. The next thing I know, light blasts the interior of the ship, and I cover my face with my hands. Still, the light pierces through and I see blood red. The ship vibrates violently, and I know right away that we're being pulled into it. I reach out despite the impossible light, uselessly pounding at the unresponsive panels. After a few moments, the brightness and heat becomes unbearable, and I finally throw myself to the floor, crawling away, crawling toward my wolf. Amicus, help! But the light continues to grow, and soon everything is lit up in a blinding white, the heat so intense that the metal melts underneath my hands and knees. I'm on fire. I am fire. I feel lines of molten lead course through the base of my neck, down my spine, branching out into my limbs, even my toes and fingers. I can only float in the inferno, dumbly wondering why I still feel like I'm dead. Why I still feel if I'm dead, wondering if this is death as the ship, the wolf, and I become part of the star. Once again, time is lost and I only exist as fire. I stare up at the sky. The air suddenly cools as I try to comprehend the sudden change from the harsh, all-consuming starlight to the gentle, cold moonlight. Still, fire continues to lance through my head, neck, spine, and limbs in agonizing lines, my body mapped as a tortured stick figure. It hurts. It hurts more than anything I've ever experienced, but it's fading after what happened in the star, so I try to relax in the sand. After a few minutes, I realize that I can hear the waves, and I feel something drawing me toward the water. I'm a little scared of getting up, of any movement at all, terrified that it might trigger the pain anew, but it doesn't. It almost feels like I'm not moving at all. I glide toward the water, watching the surface reflect the bright planet and the moon in hypnotic ripples. Entering the lake and feeling the cold, gentle water wash over my skin is the best feeling I've ever felt. It envelops me slowly, moving up my legs, torso, and finally my head. And just like that, the pain and fire is chased away, subdued to a dull, tingly throb. I gasp in relief, somehow able to breathe under the water. I drift through the dark water, watching the globes of light dance and sway above me before I finally resurface. It's only then that I remember Amicus. Fear grips me. Was he still on that ship? Did I leave him behind in the star? I look up and see the lights glittering from the palaces and begin to swim towards it, somehow moving much faster than I should be able to. Instead of swimming to the beach, though, I end up moving toward the balcony, straight to Amicus's room. Alright guys, I'm gonna pause it right there. Oh man. What a fucking roller coaster. I absolutely 100% did not expect that at all. That is not the direction I thought it was going to go. Props to the team for subverting my expectations and paying a little homage to the chaos god of disease, Nurgle himself. I kid. Or do I? Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and that notification bell. Leave a super thanks or a tip if you can. It always helps. Until the next video, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!